Oh, now this is top slop content right here. Priming doesn't suck, wasn't it? You don't start priming in Warframe? Here's why. No, I just hate priming. I think priming. Anyways, fuck it. We'll talk about Warframe some other day. I do not like priming Warframe. But top slop right here, shitting on Hamas Piker. Hamas, yes, Hezbollah looks bad for denims. Lawyer reviews. Oh my god. Anyways, this is a week old. This has probably been through the grinder. I think Hamas Piker also like reacted to this already. But yeah, let's see. Which has a Hassan problem? Fast facts. Let's make them even faster.
Twitch has a brand new Hassan problem, and this one could have huge repercussions, both legal and non-legal. We're gonna get into that today.
Is this about the gun? I think it's about the gun.
Of course, on the legal mindset, we teach you to be your own judge. I'm Andrew Esquire, American attorney, and I'm bringing you this fast facts premiere, a quick and dirty version, while I once again on a short vacation in lovely Phuket, Thailand. So another hotel room, another place, but still bringing you the freshest news. So make sure you like this video if you like the fast facts versions. So let's get right into it. Twitch has always taken a preferential stance when it comes to enforcing
Wait,
its.
what was that? How did it do that? Hold up.
Again, on a short vacation in lovely Phuket, Thailand. So another hotel room, another place, but still bringing you the freshest news. So make sure you like this video if you like the fast facts versions. So let's get right into it. Twitch has always taken a preferential stance when it comes to.
Wasn't there just like a red light on the like for a second? I'm mentioning that again.
Like this video if you like the fast facts versions.
How does he do that? Yo, that's so cool. It just highlights the like button. Maybe it like when you say like it lights up if you didn't like it yet. I don't know. That's so cool.
So let's get right into it. Twitch has always taken a preferential stance when it comes to enforcing its guidelines, or at least it, when looking at its terms of service, has not always applied those equally to all groups and people. And one of the people that gets the most criticism for this, and that many folks across the board have said is the really recipient of a lot of the benefit of the terms of service without the burden of punishment, has been one Hamas Piker. Now today there was an absolutely extreme incident.
Very lightly put. It's like rules for the Hassan, rules for the Hassan, and then rules for me.
Which really points out the problem for Twitch in having this unequal enforcement involving Hassan, and how this is going to have legal consequences. This is involving him swinging around what appears to be, and that's the very key here legally and overall, what appears to be a weapon. So let's take a look at the video, and of course this is a video that I found over on X, which highlights this incident. So we'll take this clip here and give some commentary as we go.
It's time to crusade Iran and Gaza. Mamdani communists. Let's go to war against the left.
So, so to give you some background here, it appears there's a chatter in his chat who is made a bunch of comments. Obviously, these are comments that are not fitting with the 5 in the crowd of Hassan's chat. Obviously, for any of this, he would have the ability to block and or ban this person. Of course, every single content creator retains the right to ban people out of their chat for whatever reason. Some people are more permissive, some people are more restrictive. That's really up to the creators on their platform. If they choose to ban people for anything.
I don't ban anyone. I don't have the luxury of banning anyone. There's nobody here.
That's up to them. We wouldn't be here today if this was just a block and ban incident, which, once again, I think there was plenty of grounds for him as a creator saying, hey, I don't want this person here. And some of this language was even pretty extreme, saying, hang Hassan for treason. Yeah, that's pretty extreme. And you know what? Blocking and banning someone for that would be called for. If someone came into my chat or anybody else's chat and said that about that creator, yeah, they would probably catch a ban. They would probably catch a block and a ban and possibly a report, a broad report. But the response that
You can say that in my chat. I'll talk to you when you say that. I find like I would want to dig into your brain a bit and understand where you're coming from. But like yeah, you're probably not gonna get banned.
Hassan gives here is not proportional nor appropriate to these comments. Let's play this.
In our sincerity and actually delivering for the very working people.
So let's be clear. He's gone and retrieved what appears to be a pistol. Now, many people have pointed out it could be airsoft or it is airsoft or whatever else. The key here is that it appears to be a real weapon. I'll also note as someone who played airsoft for like 8-9 years as a kid, I had MP5s, I had pistols, I had a sniper rifle, even an airsoft sniper rifle.
You know what the funniest thing is? Forget like he's anti-gun and all that stuff. Like I don't like those ones. Like that is pretty funny. You know what I think the funniest thing here is that it just shows how immature he is. I remember when I got my first gun, kind of, when I was 19, in the IDF, I got to take my M4A1 home, right? And I started posting pictures of me with my gun. And then my brother came home and he had one too. And like, man, I posted pictures with 2 guns. And like a fucking beanie covering my eyes. So cringe, okay? So edgy, so cringe, okay? I might even be able to find that picture. It is fucked up, okay? I was 19 at the time. Retarded. Still retarded at 38. But this guy is 33 or 34, something like that. He's like early 30s, early to mid 30s, okay? How much you wanna bet he took that gun out not as a threat. And by the way, this is not a legal argument because legal wise, it looks like he took it out as a threat. He took it out to look cool. He took it out so his chat would be like, oh shit, look at him. He's so cool. He's so edgy. He's so, wow, you know, he has a gun now too. Yo, this guy is so fucking cool. How much you want to bet that is what he was hoping to get out of this? He's a fucking child. In what fucking world do you take out the gun? Because first of all, Hamas Piker knows he's not under threat. Hamas Pikers know that like his chat is filled with people saying Blue Voldemort. Okay? He has Asmongold supporters, right? He has people calling him out on his bullshit on the daily. He's used to this. There is absolutely, in my opinion, as much as I hate this guy and I think he's a fucking moron, right? There's absolutely no way that I believe that he took out this gun to threaten someone. In my opinion, he took it out for much more childish reasons. Which might seem obvious to many, but I feel like nobody's fucking talking about it. How childish this fucking moron is.
You're supposed to have an orange tip or a
And
marker.
by the way, yeah. Legal mindset should not be making this argument. He's coming on this argument for legal, like, he's on this argument from legal reasons, which, by the way, just indicates him for threatening someone's life just for the fact that he pulled out something that even looks like a gun. It might not be real, it might be a toy, it doesn't matter. The intent of it is to scare someone with a gun, right? Like that, like, and to threaten them. Like, that is the intent. It doesn't matter if this gun is real or not. For the purpose of the legal argument.
On the end of an airsoft, that would be not a typical airsoft that lack that marker or remove that orange tip, even though, of course, some people do that. Some people make it more realistic. But the key here, and this is a key that is not just in analyzing this for Twitch terms of service, but also broader for the law, is that you can make a physical threat. You can make a threat or try to intimidate somebody with even a fake weapon, with a fake knife.
You can make a threat without a weapon and without a knife. If I go to the bank and give them a note, give me all your money or else I am going to prison.
With a fake gun, with a fake bomb. If you were going to try to hijack a plane and you attempted that with a fake gun, it would not be material in terms of your defense. You would not be able to say, oh, but well, it was fake, so I couldn't do it all along. You know, when you get caught and arrested and thrown in jail, you don't get off because, oh, it was fake. No, you would lead a reasonable person to believe that was real, and a reasonable person could have fear of that knife, gun, bomb, whatever, despite the fact that it's not objectively real. So that's a defense a lot of people brought up, and I don't think that stands up. Let's continue.
Compared with what President Trump has been able to do. You know, over the same period of time that I've been running, has been I tell him, I can get my name right, we defeated him, and that's what it's going to look like again.
Okay, fair enough.
Once again,
this is why I think he's trying to be cool for his audience. Because he keeps waving it. He just keeps waving it. It's like, oh, look at me. Look how fucking cool I am. I got a gun. In LA. I am above the regular person in LA because I can get a gun in LA.
again, brandishing the weapon, flaring it around. Obviously, there's a point to this. Obviously, there's an individual who's directed at. You know, this is something that's not really ambiguous in the general intention.
As you may. Oh, you found his account.
Today, I'll show you 3 ways you can use your.
So here's another crazy thing about the doxing. So now that you've paired, so you've linked up brandishing a weapon, what appears to be a real weapon, whether or not it is, whether it's an airsoft or whether it's fake. You've paired up brandishing a weapon with doxing, which is revealing their private information, which, by the way, in certain jurisdictions, in certain places in the world, is illegal. So you've done two things which are potentially illegal. There's the brandishing, the threats, the intimidation, and then you've got the doxing, right? So you've got two separate things you're now doing together. So that this is combining to make it even worse.
Wait, this is the guy.
Here's what I have. This is the biggest problem I have with doxing, like just understanding it, right? Like right now, this is not too bad, right? Like you're gonna have the, you know, a few retards here going and attacking this person for no reason. Okay. I still hate Keemstar for what he did to that old man. But at the same time, I don't know. Like morally wrong, sure, 100%. Legally though, is kind of fucked. Like, this is what it's 100% slander. in the case of like Keemstar. Is this really slander though? I don't think this is slander. I don't think this is really doxing. Because you're not exposing their actual location or information that is online. You're like going onto this YouTube channel. Right? It's not like you're exposing their like physical location, their phone number, their address. Just like, is this really doxing? You know, like, I would find it hard to call this doxing. Is this slander? It's not really slander either. This is morally wrong. I'll like 100%. This is morally wrong. But is this really slander? The threats he's gonna make right now, sure, that one, okay, that like we can like that was like definitely wrong and probably has legal repercussions. But I mean, like, is this doxing? Is this slander? Right? It's like, not really.
First thing we want to do is download the YouTube VPN app, which we can do through the first link in the description.
What are you gonna do, bro?
Also, by the way, he's this is why I hate people like Hassan, the super fucking hypocrites who are like, you know, don't fat shame, don't body shame, don't be a sexist, don't do. But then they do this. What the fuck you gonna do, you skinny bitch?
And of course, I do like the pop-up there just explaining that this is clearly against their TOS. This is something that is not,
This is
holistically,
against
both the doxing and the threatening is, of course, against the Twitch terms of service, right?
Write a petition? Let's do a crusade, he says. Let's do a fucking crusade, he says. Let's hand.
And in my opinion, everything except the gun is not a big deal. From what Hassan is doing. Now, it might be against Twitch US, that's fine. I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying that it's like, if you believe, like, you can apologize later, obviously, but it's like, I don't think what he's doing right now, aside from the gun, is that big of a deal, realistically speaking. I think he's a hypocrite, he's a piece of shit, stuff like that, but I already thought that, like, it doesn't matter, right? He's proven to be that. But, you know, dissing some random guy on YouTube, I mean, like, bro, you can go to the comment section of this guy and probably do the same thing. I don't know if that's such a big deal. I don't know.
Hassan and Mamdani for treason, he said. The fuck are you gonna do? Go on a fishing expedition? Try to fucking put malware in my phone? Is that what you're gonna do?
That's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. It's like, you know, he's not really saying anything like super out there.
You skinny bitch.
And to be clear,
The hypocrisy, though. You skinny bitch. Again, I'm not justifying what he's saying. I'm saying it's not a big deal. But the hypocrisy of people like Hassan who think that's like, oh, we can say this. Let's be real. If this guy was fat, he would say, you fat bitch. Let's be real for a second. If this guy was fat, because as long as it's not a woman, you can say he's a fat bitch.
nothing that Hassan said would be necessarily impermissible. He could say all those things. He could call them, I believe his technical word was a skinny bitch, all he wants. That would have been perfectly fine. He could yell at this guy the whole night, scream at this guy the whole night. The problem was the weapon combined with the doxing, right? All the other stuff he could do. That's his show. He can run it how he wants. That wouldn't necessarily be against TOS to just yell at the guy the whole night and make fun of the guy. That's fine. Do it your way. Not what we do on my channel. But hey, he can do it on his channel all he wants. But with that, you open yourself up to a bunch of problems. And Twitch is opened up to a bunch of problems because now they've got to decide what they're going to do with Hassan. And in the past, they've only given him slaps on the wrist. That is, they've given him 1 day or 24-hour bans or sometimes 12-hour bans. And that's been all they've done with him. But now we've got a serious problem because we've got a situation in which if he is not banned for this, this opens up this behavior for others. So it opens up this behavior, these threats for others.
I don't think he's been banned still for this. He still hasn't been banned for this.
Other people, which can bring
You
on
know why? They haven't come to an agreement which day would be better for Hassan to be banned.
what appears to be real weapons, knives, bombs, and dox people, threaten them. And here's the problem for Twitch. They open themselves up for not just losing advertisers, which is a big non-legal issue, not just looking bad as a brand, because obviously nobody wants to be the platform in which people are openly brandishing weapons and threatening others and doxing them. That's not good for a platform. But you open yourself up to legal consequences as well. Now, obviously, many people know the breach of contract.
We'll come back later if you're still alive, and we'll probably come back again next time. Alright, bro. Good luck with the calculus, man. Take it easy.
route. And there are arguments in terms of breaching the contract between the creator and the platform in terms of banning somebody for one type of behavior, whereas you don't ban somebody for another. So you don't ban Hassan for this, but let's say another creator is banned for this. Well, there might be a cause of action open up there. Now, there's a lot of challenges with that. That's a difficult one, but one that's even more interesting and one that is really untested, and in fact, there may be many people looking to test this, is a consumer type action under a private right of action. Every state has their consumer laws, and those laws are sometimes very, very strong. And one thing they protect against is unfair and deceptive practices. And it indeed is a very strong case to say it is an unfair and deceptive practice to benefit some people while punishing others. Because this bias, for example, Hassan bias, is not disclosed anywhere. It's not given out in the terms of service. When you read the terms of service, nowhere does it say everyone will be punished except for Hamas Piker. Everyone will be banned except for Hamas Piker. Or, for example, if you want to be more broad, everyone will be banned except people who share Hamas Piker's political beliefs or affiliations or associations. If that was disclosed publicly, then fair dues, then you can do what you're trying to do. Of course, advertisers may have an issue with that, but legally it wouldn't be as deceptive. But now you're deceiving the consumer, both the people that are consuming the content, that are expecting that their favorite content creators will not be banned, and then seeing them get banned, and deceiving the creators themselves by lulling them into a belief that they can stream on your platform safely and do what they want, just like Hassan, but then they're ultimately punished. And they're punished for a much longer period of time. They're losing a much larger slice of revenue, memberships, subscriptions, etc., affiliate deals than Hassan. So you're able to point.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't think Twitch gives a shit about this. I think the ones who should give a shit about this is Amazon. I am 99% sure the people who work on Twitch, whatever, they treat it as a job. They don't give a fuck if Twitch survives or not. They don't give a fuck about anyone but themselves. Okay? And they just don't ban Hassan because they like him. That's pretty much it. I like Hassan. I don't give a shit about my job. I will cry about it when I lose it, though. But I just don't really give a shit. And they don't give a shit about losing the job. They give a shit about losing their monthly pays. That's the problem with Twitch. They do not care about Twitch. It's like you have the similar thing with game developers, right? You have game developers like Diablo 4, bro. Diablo 4 should be like the fucking best ARPG on the market by far. They have the best budget. They had so many people waiting for this game. Okay, more than PoE 2 times 5. Okay. Why does Diablo 4 suck? Because they have people who treat Diablo 4 as a job. Not just the regular developers, like the junior developers, the middle developers. The seniors don't give a fuck about the game. Nobody there, well, maybe some people there, but practically nobody there gives a fuck about Diablo. Not about what genre defining, they don't give a fuck about Blizzard. Forget Diablo. Blizzard used to be a genre defining company. They don't give a fuck. It's a job. And you know why they don't give a fuck? Because there's so many of them. When you were, and again, wow, this is so off topic, but it's like when you were a game developer in the fucking 90s, right? This was not a popular thing to do. This was like, you did this because you had a passion. You want to create something, right? Now, because it's so popular to go into tech and games are popular and they're everywhere, it's like, it's a solid career move, you know? It's a solid career move. Why not do it? But you don't care about it. You don't give a fuck about your games. Similar with Twitch, the people at Twitch, it's like, oh yeah, I know some back-end development, I know some front-end development. I can moderate shit, I can watch streams all day, no problem, right? I don't give a fuck about the job. They don't have a passion to make Twitch the best it can be, the only thing on the market. They don't have pride in working for Twitch. The only pride they have for working for Twitch is for people who want to be streamers to be like, yo, you work at Twitch, yo, that's sick, man. I want to be a streamer, whatever, right? So it's like those people look up to you maybe because you are their god. But you don't have actual pride in Twitch. Right? You just want people to look up to you because of you. While earning nothing to fucking be that person who's supposed to be looked up to, right? Fuck, man. Why is it so hot today? God damn.